Hi, welcome to Sunny Day Stamping. I'm Julie Baca, and we're going to be making one of the easiest fun fold cards today. It's actually one of my favorites. One, because it's quick and easy, and two, it's very easy to decorate. You don't need a ton of supplies, and those are my favorite kind of cards. Now, this card we're going to be using Stampin' Up's Designer Series paper. That's their patterned paper that's double-sided, and we're going to use both sides of the paper. But I'm going to show you exactly how to cut it so that you don't have to waste any, and you can just cut it really efficiently. I'm also going to be showing you the punch that we're using. We're going to use one of the new punches, and I'm going to show you 2 ways to use that punch. Now, the new mini catalog just went live yesterday, so we are using one of those new stamp sets. It's actually the Stamp and Punch bundle, so I'm really excited to show you some of the ideas for that. Now, all of the measurements for this project are over on my website, sunnydaystamping.com, and there's a link in the description that'll take you directly to that blog post. So during the video, just sit back and enjoy it. You know you can always go back and get the measurements later when you go to make the card. Let's get started. Okay, so this is what they call a bookbinding card, where you seal the binding of the card closed, so it has this kind of cool opening. Such an easy fun fold, and I love this because it is a good use of just little pieces of Designer Series paper, although I'm going to show you some paper cutting tips if you have a full-size 6x6 sheet, because I love to use those efficiently and help you be able to do that, because it causes me stress. So I like to figure it out, and then you guys can just enjoy it. The other reason I love these bookbinding cards is the front of the card really is this big, so I don't need to get like tons of products to like fill up the card. I'm just going to use this really simple thing, and we are going to be using the curved occasions, which is brand new in the mini catalog, which is just great on its own. But if you pair it with the bundle, it comes, I think this is called the curved label punch, and it'll actually it's going to punch a curve, and then these words fit in there like perfectly. So now I like to start by choosing my Designer Series paper when I'm designing my card, because this is going to determine what colors of inks I use and what colors of cardstock. So I am going to be using the Inked Botanicals, and of course you can use any Designer Series paper, any patterned paper for the card. I just really love the colors in this set, and I love all the different like dots and foliage and gingham. So then once you have that picked out, then you're going to choose a piece of cardstock. Now these are all the colors in this paper pack, and they match perfectly, and this is what Stampin' Up is known for, their perfect color coordination. So whether you're a beginner stamper or you're an advanced stamper, this is going to make your life so easy, because you know that whatever colors you pick in here, they're going to match perfectly, and your card's going to turn out great the first time, instead of having one shade of red and another shade of red and they just don't look right. So then we're going to use this same color palette in the Stampin' Blends markers to color in the images. Now this looks like a lot of stuff, and you don't need all of it. This all comes in one pack of paper, so we're just going to choose one, and then we're going to just choose one color of cardstock for our card. But I was just going to show you that you can make multiple cards in different color combinations if you use all of them. All right, so let's go ahead and cut our Designer Series paper. Designer Series paper comes in 6x6 in some cases. In the Inked Botanicals, it does. Sometimes it comes in these big 12x12. So I'm gonna, if you have a big 12x12, you can cut it down very easily to 6x6. The paper trimmer, when you just bump it up against this left line, that's 6 inches. So you can just slide your big piece of paper in there and slice it, and you know it's 6 inches. But let me show you how to efficiently cut the paper for this card. So we need this strip right here, which is 3/4 of an inch, and then we'll rotate it to 5.5, and that will fit perfectly on the front. Now on the inside we have a pretty piece, so we're going to cut that one. The inside piece is 5.25, and so because we cut 3/4 off of this 6-inch piece, this is already measured, which is perfect. So we just need to rotate it and cut it at 3 inches. Now, if your Designer Series paper, this goes on the inside of the card. So if your Designer Series paper had a direction, which mine did, and I did not pay attention to that. Now this is gonna be, we're gonna have sideways flowers in our card, people. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I should have paid attention to that. Flip it over. So what you want to do then when you make your first cut, for the front, you want your direction to be going in landscape when you make that first 3/4 cut. Then when you turn it and you cut it this way, it'll be in the right direction. But you know what? This is just going to have to work for now. Now we're going to bring in our cardstock, and I want to show you how to cut this so easily. You can find the measurements on my website. My email subscribers get this free print and make project sheet, which is just a 1-page a thing that you can print out and have right by you while you're cutting and measuring. It's got some written instructions linked to the video. You can even scan it with your phone so you can go directly over to the blog post to see additional photos and click that video really easily. So you're going to take your regular piece of cardstock, put it in landscape, and we're going to cut it at 5.5, rotate it, and score it at 4 1/4. Now this is just normal card stuff right here, right? So the only additional thing we need to do is we're going to make another score line at 3 1/4, and that is going to create that 1-inch binding that we're going to glue together right now. Do you see that there? I think I forgot to mention, if you'd like to sign up for my email list, there's a link in the description of this video that'll take you right to there. If you're watching this video and it's past the time that I've emailed this out, I email it in my weekly email. You can just ask me for it, and I'll be happy to email it to you. All right, so now we've got our card, and there with our score line. So we're just going to fold it on that score line just like you would a regular card, and we're going to burnish it really well. And now we've got that other score line here on the front of our card. And so we're going to just hold this down and fold it back on itself and burnish that really well. Now we're just going to place some glue right here. Holy wow! There was a clog! There was a clog! Oh, I don't like it when this happens. Okay, this is what you do when this happens. Did you know? I hardly use this. On the bottom of your glue, you can twist this off, and there's a smusher. So we can smear this around. I'm actually going to get some of this off. Where's my craft mat? This is my silicone craft sheet. Put any sticky stuff on here, and it keeps the rest of your craft area from getting sticky everywhere. I love it. Okay. There. See? Save the day. Save the day. Okay, we're good. We're good. Then we just screw this back on. All right. Does this ever happen to you? Okay, now we're back in business. We've got glue right here, not in excess. And we're going to just close this. And you're just going to press along that binding part. And there you go. That's it. Bookbinding card done. Now you just decorate it. So we're going to set this glue aside for a while. We're going to let that dry while we do some stamping. So for the focal point of our card, we're going to use a circle. This is the 2 3/8 circle punch. You could also cut this out with a die. I just wanted to just keep our supplies kind of at the minimum. And since we're using a punch, I wanted to use a circle punch. And then you just pick your favorite image off of here. So I wanted to make a birthday card. So I'm going to choose this cake, and I'm going to choose this happy birthday, and then something for the inside. We'll do from all of us. Happy birthday from all of us. So I like to tap my stamp with the ink quite a bit, especially with the black, especially since we're going to be coloring this in. We want it to have a nice, good, deep, dark black outline, like a coloring page. Now, because this is so tall and I'm going to be putting a banner across the top, I'm going to have this oriented more towards the bottom so that there's more white space at the top. And then we're going to let this dry. When you're using Stampin' Blends markers, you want to make sure that that ink dries well, or else it'll smear. You can stamp it now and get the rest of your card done and come back and color it, or you can hit it with your heat tool real quick if you don't want to wait. Now, this is the piece of paper that you need for the inside. All the measurements for this are on my website or on that project sheet. And we're going to let this dry also before we put it in. All right, now we'll make our greeting, and we're going to punch out this curved label. You only need one if you want to use it regular, but I'm going to show you how to make it into that ribbon. So now you'll need 2. But let me just show you what it would look like if you just have the one curved label. Let me get this, let me clear off my workspace here. So grab one of those curved greetings and put it directly on there. And it's just fantastic. You can put this on any card. It'll be great. So you can just put this above here. And let's see. Put this above here and put it on your card, and that looks great. But let me show you just this little trick. I love having like more uses for my products than what's just given, because it just adds more value, and I like that. So to make that ribbon, the banner ribbon, you're going to take one of your other curved piece and you're going to fold it in half. And then while it's folded, we're going to trim off. Do you see how here it's just kind of a curved edge? I mean, this is optional, but when I didn't cut it, it just didn't look like a rolling banner. So I think it is important to cut, just make a little curved snip here like that. That's all you need to do. And I might not have had that in the camera at the time I was cutting that. Oh my goodness, I'm having so much trouble with focusing. There we go. There we go. Okay, now just snip this in half. That's it. Bring in your craft mat. See, most of that's dry, and there is a ton of glue on there. I really made a mess. Okay, so now you're gonna put these on your craft sheet. I mean, you can put them on a scrap piece of paper, but this might get glue a little bit, so it's nice to have this. And this also gives it some traction, so these little pieces aren't sliding all over the place, because you want to kind of line it up and see where you want it, to see how far apart you want those like tails of the banner. You can also bring in your circle and kind of test it to see how far out those tails are going to be. You can make them longer or shorter. For this card, you do want to be aware that it's fairly narrow on the front. This was the first demonstration I made, and you can see that this extended past my score line a little bit, so it's kind of buckling that a little bit. So you want to make sure that either your tails are in a little bit, or my issue with this is I placed it too far to the left. Okay, so now once you figure out how far apart you want your little tails, you're going to put a little drop of glue on each tail, just up toward in the corners there, and then just lay this curved banner on top like that, and then let it dry. Wow, I got glue trouble today, you guys. It's squeezing out. Seriously, I made so many examples, and this did not happen. Okay, now I'm just going to press that down, and we'll let that dry there for a sec. So now that looks really cool, but I think what is going to give even more of the illusion that this is a waving banner is to put some shading here. And because we need these Stampin' Blends markers anyway to color in our images, we're going to use it to add some shading to here. So we're just going to roll it just down the bottom edge of this banner like that. And that's going to kind of when you first put it on, it's going to be very harsh, but once it dries into the paper, it'll be more smooth, and it's going to have it look more like that. Can you see the shading? You probably didn't even notice the first time I showed you because your eye just makes it, plays the trick. So now you're going to want to grab yourself just a piece of scrap paper. Stampin' Blends markers are alcohol markers, and they will bleed through. So you're going to want to protect your surface. Now, there are different demonstrators do these different ways. I like to start with my light colored marker, accent with my dark, and then go back over with my light color to blend it all in. So Stampin' Blends markers they come in a pack of 2 so that you can blend them together, so that you can easily create just depth to your coloring. Now, if you wonder where to put the dark accents, do what the artist did in the stamp. Like I just went over those lines in that cake right there, and now I'm going to color it back in. I think I'm just going to zoom this in so you can see better what I'm doing. Also, one thing with these markers, because they are alcohol markers, they will dry out fairly easily. So you want to make sure when you put your top on that you hear this click, and then you know that it is closed. Now, one other thing about Stampin' Blends is they come with a bullet tip and a brush tip. You can see I've been using the brush tip for most of this project, but for right here, I'm just going to add a little bit with the bullet. Well, I didn't get any on my scratch paper, but you can see that it does bleed through. This is normal, but you want to be cognizant of that when you're adding it to projects. You want to make sure they're on top of a layer where you can't see that underneath. Now we want to do one more bit of coloring, and you're going to grab the inside of your card. And this is optional, but I think it looks so cool. Just take your Stampin' Blends marker and just kind of scribble over the words, and that's just going to give it that little bit of color you need for the inside. Okay, we've got all our pieces, so we're just going to glue this all back together. Now for this last part, when we add this to the circle, bring your craft sheet back out and just put a little dot of glue there and a little dot of glue there. And then just put your banner right on top and just press it and just wait for it to secure itself. Let me show you this. Now this isn't completely dry over here, but check this out. Look, all that sticky mess, you just wipe it right off. Let's see. I'm just going to try this and see. Oh yeah, that's still a sticky mess. That it might have to sit overnight. That was a lot of glue. But look at the rest of this. It's not on my work surface. It's not sticky anymore. You just rub it right off. Okay, once this is dry, go ahead and grab your dimensionals and pop this on the front. And I've got so many examples to show you because these were so fun to make. You just need to peel the back of these Stampin' Dimensionals off. I like to use my take your pick tool to grab those off real easily and just put this right there. So here's that set. I think that turned out so awesome. I made one for each image in that stamp set, the curved occasions. So many fun things. And I just used that same color scheme for all of these, same markers for all of these. And all these cardstocks, they all match with the Designer Series paper, so you can make so many combinations. I did want to show you one where I put the Designer Series paper on the front because maybe this is too plain. And then on the inside, I just left it blank and had a place to sign. I put out a new video every Thursday, and I'm going to be featuring some of these new products that are in that new mini catalog that just came out. Now you can subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to get notified when my videos come out. You can also sign up for my email list because I feature the video in my email and get you that free print and make project sheet every week. Thank you so much for watching. Have a sunny day.